Good morning, YouTube. To my subscribers and my new subscribers, I appreciate you all. And thank you to the other content creators that I find have great content. I thank you all for the comments that keep me motivated, both the good comments and the bad comments. Now, I just watched a video by Five Babe. I saw one last night, and then I saw one the night before. And I will say this: I have unsubscribed from her a while ago. Five Babe, prophetess, ex-co-laborer in the work of the Lord. You're showing your immaturity, as far in my observation. You're showing great immaturity, my dear. Great immaturity. You're also showing that you're lost with no direction. It's gotten to the point where you don't know what content is. Now, one suggestion that I have for you is to find somebody that is going through the same persecution as or similar to what Larry did, and insert yourself into that like you did in the situation with VS and Larry Nelson. This way you would have decent content, because at this point your content is just as flat as a 3-year-old. Or no, a 3-year-old has better content. They have better conversation. You're trying to copy and compete with Tracy. Girl, that thing has fallen flat, so flat that it's so far up under the ground, it's ridiculous. Queen of YouTube, you could never be queen because you don't have the mentality to be queen. You don't have the leadership skills to be queen. You don't have the intellect. You don't have the intellect that it would take to make decisions to be queen. I'm becoming a little more annoyed with you now, because it's like, girl, when do you grow up? When do you grow up? I'm amazed. I'm just amazed that you're going on and on and on and on. And mark my words, in a few more days, you're going to run completely out. Your hair is peeling. Night before last, you had all kinds of white stuff in the front of your hair, or whose ever hair that is up on your head. The last night, your hair is peeling back. So not only do you do bad makeup for your skin and for your complexion, but you don't even properly maintain your weave, which makes me think that you don't spend very much money for them, because they look like you've been doing hard construction work or something or other. I know I'm spending a little time on you, and my time is quite valuable. Although we see that yours is not very valuable, because if it was valuable, you would be investing a little more time in yourself, and getting yourself together, and keeping it together. Because again, you are an influencer in your household. You are an influencer in your household. And everything you do, all your behaviors are going to be mimicked. by that little girl, if not already, because she's 6, so it's probably beginning to be mimicked already. And again, that young lady one day is going to look back at all your foolishness, all your, as Brother Jay say, all your fool-la-la. And it's going to make a big impact on your life. And you're going to pray for forgiveness, but you're going to have to go through. You're really going to have to deal with it. That's something that you're going to have to face, that you can't put off on anybody else. You can't put it off on Quana. You can't put it off on Onsite April. You can't put it off on Tracy. You can't put it on Brother Jay. You can't put it off on VS. It's you. You are the common denominator. You get along with no one. You fight with everybody unnecessarily. So, okay, you're not beefing for dollars, as you said night before last. I'm not going to beef for dollars, but you're beefing for subs. We can tell. There is an agenda. However, you keep falling flat. Because every day, subscribers are walking away from you. They are walking away by the droves. Because you've lost it. And let's get back to this co-laboring thing. Girl, have you ever really been a co-laborer in the word or in the work of the Lord? Because you got schizophrenic behavior. Your behavior is very schizophrenic, because you said we're co-laborers in the Lord, and then you go to take a sip of that wine that you had in that that glass, and you stuck your nasty tongue out. Now, why are you so attracted to a gay man or a bisexual man? I'm like wondering, girl, you're really mixed up. You got some, you not only do you have some screws loose, but baby, you've got some springs that are just twirling around in your brain, and some that aren't even working. You need a complete overhaul from the inside out. Yeah, from the inside out. And it's very disheartening in one sense to watch a person self-destruct. As a black man watching a black woman just totally self-destruct. And then your homophobia showed again. When you were talking, you think it's slick shade. It's elementary, my dear. The stuff you do is so infantile until it's serious. It's not funny. It's really concerning. It really, it's like, are you for real? Well, I haven't seen you have that same energy with Sean and with ZT and with this one. Girl, if you don't get your ass somewhere and sit down and get yourself together, you had better. I must remind you, you have a child. You have a child that you have custody of, or at least that's what it appears. That's what it appears. It appears that you have that child. So guess what? It's really crazy to me that you take that so lightly, and that's not important to you. Because if it was important to you, your behavior would be totally different. It would be totally different. Your concern would be more for the child than for what's going on YouTube or on these YouTube streets. Because again, that child can't make her own food. She can't, there's a lot that she needs you for. Checking her homework. What do you do? And I wonder if when you and her disagree, do you treat her the same way that you treat everybody else? Unfortunate. Very unfortunate. Very, very unfortunate, my dear. But hey, you make choices in life. You made the choices, sweetheart, and you're going to have to deal with the consequence of them. And it seems like you're going to have to deal with the consequences of them later than sooner. And the sad part is that just like you doing this stuff on YouTube, everybody going to see when you finally completely fall on your face. Because you're doing it to yourself. Nobody's doing it to you. You're doing it to yourself. You're doing it to yourself. And please stop doing the news, because trying to compete and do that news thing, you sound like a child at the Easter at the Easter service trying to remember his speech. That's ridiculous. It is ridiculous. But that goes to show you have no content, sweetheart. So now you're trying to mimic and copy like you've been doing. And you think you're in competition. You can't compete. You don't have what it takes to compete. You two in your feelings. And you talk about somebody else's butt hurt. Girl, you so hurt. You are in so much pain until you are medicating your pain. And we see that every time you get on. You are definitely medicating your pain away. But after you finish medicating, sweetheart, all that stuff is still there. You still have to face all yourself, your entire self. You have to, you have to face. Girl, when you stuck your tongue in that glass, I almost threw up in my mouth. That was disgusting. You're not sexy like that, sweetheart. As a matter of fact, your behaviors and your thought patterns at this point have made you decrepit and ugly. More like, what was that? Tales from the Crypt type icon. That's the kind of impression that I get from you. Tales of the Crypt icon type. I mean, really, girl. I said it before, I'll say it again. What you need to do, my dear, is get off of YouTube, have some talks with Jesus, and open your heart and your mind and allow him to speak to you, and then work on you. Because it's evident and obvious that you cannot take these YouTube streets, beloved. You cannot take it. You can't deal with it. You cannot deal with it. Now, I know if you see this video, you're going to try to come for me. But I'm going to say this, sweetheart. If you come for me, you better take lessons from somebody that knows how to get down. Take lessons from somebody that knows how to do this thing. Because if you don't, I'm telling you, it's going to end beautifully. Now, I'm not trying to come for you. Let me make that disclaimer. It's just my observation. It's just my observation. But you need to go and do your first work over. And while you're doing your first work over, make sure that you integrate some neology and not go on what you think, but go on what the Lord says. Because you have gone so far away. I'll say it again. You remind me of the biblical story or the biblical parable of the 5 wise and the 5 foolish virgins. You being one of the 5 foolish virgins that did not properly plan. When the cry was made, you didn't take any oil in your lamp. You didn't take any extra oil with you. And when the waiting process was going on, you burnt all your oil out. And then you want to try to get oil from those that were prepared to wait on the bridegroom. You didn't read the signs of the time. So, when trying to get something for nothing, everybody told you, listen, I got enough oil just for me. This is not a community, this is not community oil. So you're going to have to go and buy your own oil. And you left to go get your oil. However, you went too far. And see, what silly women do is they come with not enough oil. Then they have to go buy oil. And they go too far. They stay too long. And while you're gone, the cry for the bridegroom was made. And he came in and took all them that were ready, all them that had prepared. Meanwhile, you come back and ain't nobody there, and you knocking on the door. Let us in, let me in, let me in. And it's unfortunate. It's unfortunate. Girl, you're losing out. You are losing by leaps and bounds. And it's just an observation. But one can see it in your face, in your demeanor. One can see it. Because your behavior is that you're pulling at straws. You don't know what to do. Because you decided for clicks and views and for subscribers to go after people that you shouldn't have went after, rather than staying in your own lane. You tried to be something that you're not, my love. Unfortunate. And what's even more so appalling is the fact that you don't listen. You don't listen. People were telling you all along. I had subscribed to you a while back. Just before the Larry Nelson situation, I subscribed to you. And I had said to you several times, I'm concerned because I see a difference. I see you losing it. Warning comes before destruction. Now that's Bible. That's Bible. but you haven't heeded the warning. So guess what? Unfortunately, you're going to have to fall. And it's going to be, again, it's going to be embarrassing because you're going to do it on YouTube. You're already doing it on YouTube. Because you won't listen. You're so consumed with yourself that you're not considering anything or anybody. Well, again, I will say this again. I'm not disappointed in you, my dear, because I had no unreal expectation of you. However, you are a black woman in this existence, and we are all connected. However you want to look at it, you can say what you want to say, but we're all connected. And what you've done to everybody else, you've already done to yourself. And you're feeling it. You're feeling it. You are feeling it. And it shows. Because you're not just, your makeup is not just covering your eczema, sweetheart. It's covering, you're trying to cover how badgered you look. How haggard you look. And it's not working. It's actually amplifying the fact that you're not together. It's making it more visible to the naked eye. And any of your moderators and people you call Babe Nation that are not pulling your coattail, guess what, sweetie? They don't have your best interest at heart, and guess what's going to happen? Just like you talked about Rita's mods turning on her, watch what your mods do to you. I hope you can take it. No, I pray you can take it. I pray you can take it. Because you've done a lot of damage out here in these YouTube streets. Well, I'm just sick of church folks running their mouth about the Lord, and in the same breath, they're acting stupid. Nobody wants to know Jesus because of you. Nobody. Because you are a silly woman. You are silly. You have no mental control. None. You are so out of control, you don't even know that you're out of control. And everybody around you sees it, and they know it's not normal. However, they're not going to tell you. It's just like watching a train wreck. They're going to stand back and watch you wreck yourself. The very person that you were trying to do all this stuff on YouTube to, you have become. You have become, which means that you are like those people in the Bible that talk about God but denying the power thereof. You have a good game talking about the Lord at times, even though a lot of that is hollow. No feeling, no nothing, no spirit. but you deny the power of God. Talking loud and saying absolutely nothing. And we all know what you said about Brother Jay. You meant. You were not joking, because you always have some kind of some kind of warped ulterior motive for saying what you say. You always start your fights before you start your fights. You always start the fight before you start it. And when somebody comes back on you, all of a sudden they're coming for you, when you already did it in public for them to come back on you. And you don't want them to come on you public. You get butthurt when they come and shut you down. Oh, they attacked me. No, no. Child, please. You've been attacking people for a while. And then you say, well, I guess I'm not invited to the cookout. Baby, I see through you. You want to be disinvited. You want to be uninvited. This will give you another excuse to try to get more coins by going in. That's what you want. It's evident. We can see it. You just don't see it. You think that you are doing things that nobody is clocking. Girl, you've been clocked. Because you're repetitive, you're redundant, you're doing the same thing over and over and over again to everybody. And this is not the first time you came for Jay Wilson. This is not the first time you've said derogatory or homophobic statements towards Jay Wilson. I was there when you said it, sister girl. And then for you not to remember what you do, saying, I didn't come for him, you came for him, and you know you did. So you're not honest. You've already been proven on these streets to be a pathological liar. Your credibility is shot. Wow. How do you live like that? You are the bully that you talk about. Every time you say somebody's bullying you, you are the bully. You are the bully. And it's funny because you set these things up as if nobody sees you. The only people that don't see you set it up is the people that don't deal with you. That really pay you no mind. Nooch. They pay you no mind. That's why they don't see it. But everybody else sees what you're doing. You are green with envy, jealous. Everything that the fruit of the Spirit is supposed to be, you are the total opposite. You slander. You backbite. You bear false witness. You sow discord amongst the brethren. Wow. And that's just 4. I'm going to stop at 4. You know the rest. You know exactly what you're doing. On an infantile level. Because your brain has not expanded to adult. Because adult, we see that there are certain things that it's not worth the time nor the effort to get into. It's not profitable. It's not profitable. Some things you let fly because you have a goal to meet. Well, girl, I just hope that one day you get it. And it's not too late. Not too late. But be advised, the hands of the clock are winding down. It's not as long as it has been. And there is an appointed time for every man, every woman that has to give an account. And that doesn't mean when you die in the great by and by. Right here on earth, you have to give an account of the things that you do, the decisions and choices that you make. And in my observation, you're not strong enough. You're not strong enough. You don't have self-control enough to really make it through. Now, prophetess, learn. Take some time and learn. See, because your burdens are very heavy. You try to mask it with you loving lace and all that kind of stuff. You mask it, but you don't mask it well. Your shoulders are not straight. They're slumped. You try to hide the frown lines and the bags. Try to conceal the bags around your eyes. But we see them. We hear the pain in your voice. Sister girl, reach out and touch the Lord while he may be found, and call him while he's near. You're one of his that walked away. He'll hear you, and he'll help you. He will help you. Reach out and touch the Lord while he goes by. You will find he's not too busy to hear your humble cry. He's passing by this moment. Oh, your needs he will supply. Oh, fine baby, reach out and touch the Lord while he goes by. Again, to all my new subscribers, to all of my subscribers, thank you for taking an interest in me and joining the MAC Association. And to the content creators who have been exceptional to me, I appreciate you all. King Jives, I appreciate you. J. Wilson, D. Ramsey, D. Ervin, all of you, I appreciate you. Have a good day.